Well, right now on Denver 7 News at 7 o'clock on Local 3, we continue to follow breaking news out of Littleton this morning. A man is in the hospital after he was shot during a confrontation with Jefferson County deputies.
And Jessica Crawford is at the scene. It's a shopping center near Wadsworth and Bowles with a very popular gym there as well. Jessica, what happened?
So this scene is changing just a little bit from how it looked even 30 minutes ago. So you can see that a lot of the crime scene tape has been taken away, and a lot of these Jefferson County Sheriff's deputies have left the scene, but there still are a few that are here. And they did tell us that this really all started with a man claiming that he had been followed. So I'm just going to give you a look at what's left of the scene right now. Jefferson County deputies say this all started around midnight. They received a call from a man claiming that he was being followed to this location. But when the deputy arrived, the suspect confronted him with a knife. Deputies say that the suspect was behaving very violently. A confrontation took place and the deputy shot the suspect. That suspect was taken to a hospital. His condition is unknown at this time. We did see some clothing and evidence markers on the scene, but officers have been picking them up. And they tell us that they are just very glad that that deputy was not injured. And as you can see, you just saw in that video, more deputies just kind of taking off. So really the scene appears to be clear for the most part at this point, and it doesn't seem as though any of the nearby stores have been affected. In fact, we have seen people continue to go in and out of that gym through this entire morning. Live in Littleton, I'm Jessica Crawford, Denver 7.
All right, thank you, Jessica. We'll update you on this story as it develops. You can sign up for push alerts on our denverchannel.com or the Denver 7 Plus app on your streaming device.
Well, taking a live look from our mile-high camera this morning, a really pretty shot here of the mix of sun and clouds, although, Lisa, it seems like the clouds have started to take over a little bit.
Yeah, a little more. We will see more sunshine, though, this afternoon. A few areas of patchy fog early on, partly sunny, quite a bit of cloud cover in the mountains. You can see there from Vale Village, some of the fresh snow there on the rooftops. We'll see all of this clear up here in the mountains and across the plains a bit more by this afternoon, so you'll see more sunshine, and it's going to be quite a bit warmer, too. Right now, we're at 42 in Denver. From this vantage point looking off to the west, you can see those clouds hanging out right over downtown, but upper 30s, low 40s, pretty mild. And we're going to be quite a bit warmer than that by lunchtime. Low 60s at that point, highs right around 70 it looks like this afternoon. A lot of people are going to be heading downtown by that point, right around 4 to 5 o'clock for the Avalanche game there at Ball Arena tonight, and you've got some nice conditions for it. Upper 60s and low 70s cover all of eastern Colorado, more 50s than 40s in the mountains today. Coming up, we're going to take a look at your weekend forecast. It's going to get warm, but it's also going to get a little breezy. It's been nice to get a break from the winds. I'll show you when those are going to pick up coming up.
Your Thursday morning commute has picked up quite a bit. We do have a crash to tell you about here at I-70 in Peoria. Traffic is backed all the way up to the I-225 interchange, and this is impacting eastbound lanes. Now I want to take you a little bit further to the south. Staying on I-225, we have a crash here at Parker Road with traffic backed up to I-Live. That's impacting southbound lanes. Quick check of your drive times. Westbound C-470 from Wadsworth to I-70, 15 minutes. Eastbound running about the same. Eastbound I-270 from I-25 to I-70, 13 minutes, a little bit of a slowdown there. Westbound about the same. Now I do want to show you our CDOT camera. One thing I love about Colorado, the weather changes quite a bit, even just a few miles up the road. If you're headed up to the high country, this is Loveland ski area. Chain and traction laws are in effect because we still have a lot of ice, snow. It's just purely wet on the ground up there.
Thank you, Michael. Well, at a time when we're paying more for just about everything already, the Federal Reserve is raising interest rates, which means borrowing money will also be more expensive.
Yeah, now, of course, the hope is that by raising the rates, it will reduce inflation and bring those other prices down. But leaders admitted yesterday even more rate hikes will be needed this year. Denver 7's Veronica ACOSTA joins us with a look at how this is going to impact all of us. Veronica.
You should be getting ready to get a notice from your credit card company here within maybe just the next couple of weeks. That's because credit cards, adjustable rate mortgages, and home equity lines of credit are all among the first to see that increase. And if you're wondering this morning, how is this going to financially impact my family? There's going to be two ways. The first is you're going to be making bigger payments, and if you don't pay off the balance, then you're going to be paying for longer. So a bit of advice for you from experts this morning. They say you should give your bank a call and see if you can lower that rate. Here's another piece of advice.
Now is a good time to use excess cash to pay down your home equity line of credits, as well as your credit card loans before those interest rates really start to impact your budget.
And it's the first time in more than 20 years now that the Federal Reserve raised the benchmark rate by 0.5%. Chairman Jerome Powell says more increases will be coming this year, but they won't be as big. Some of those future meetings, they're set for June, July, and September of this year.
The labor market is extremely tight and inflation is much too high. It is essential that we bring inflation down if we are to have a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all.
And with yesterday's increase, the benchmark, that's the rate at which banks borrow and lend each other money, that's around 1%. Experts believe it could be as high as 3% by the end of this year. We're live in Denver this morning. I'm Veronica, ACOSTA, Denver 7.
All right, thank you, Veronica. Well, in response, all three major U.S. stock indices jumped after the announcement because of Powell said future increases would not be higher. So pre-market trading on the Dow is down about 0.5% right now. The opening bell will be here at the bottom of the hour. This morning, new security fencing is up around the U.S. Supreme Court, where crowds have been gathering all week after the leak of a draft opinion on abortion rights. ABC's Justin Finch has the latest.
Good morning. There's new high fencing raising eyebrows now on Capitol Hill, and perhaps another sign of that leak fallout, word that Justice Samuel Alito has pulled out of a public appearance. From coast to coast, days of large and loud abortion rights demonstrations. Abortion bans have got to go! And overnight, crews setting up security fencing around the U.S. Supreme Court complex, a level of precaution seen after the January 6th Capitol attack. It comes amid rising tensions after this week's leak of a draft opinion on a pending abortion rights case. That draft appearing to signal the conservative-leaning court could be close to overturning Roe v. Wade, the near 50-year-old Supreme Court decision granting a right to legal abortion in the U.S. Though not a final opinion, President Biden has called the draft opinion radical.
What happens if you have a state changes the law saying that children who are LGBTQ can't be in classrooms with other children? Is that legit under the way that the decision is written?
The president also warning of a wider impact on other rights.
What are the next things that are going to be attacked? Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history, in recent American history.
Late Wednesday, word Justice Samuel Alito, the author of that draft opinion, has canceled a judicial conference appearance set for today. A Supreme Court spokeswoman giving no reason as to why. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Members of a Boulder church are cleaning up for a second time in the last year after people vandalized and spray painted pro-choice messages on the building. The sheriff's office says the graffiti on Sacred Heart of Mary Church is similar to what they saw in September of last year. They have never arrested anyone for that earlier incident. One parishioner says he's disappointed but not surprised.
We think this is related to an annual pro-life memorial we have on our front lawn every October for Respect Life Month. We put out 3,000 crosses signifying how many abortions there are in the United States every single day. The first time this type of an attack occurred at our parish happened the first few days of October last year. So this is a repeat.
Investigators say they're looking at all the evidence, including surveillance video right now. Denver Public Schools is looking to cut its budget as the number of students continues to dramatically decline. Its estimated enrollment in DPS will decline 6% by 2025. And the district is now cutting 76 positions in its central office to save some money. DPS says the cuts will save $9 million for its general fund. We expect to hear more about the specific jobs being cut at a Board of Education meeting this evening.
Well, current and former Broncos players continue to honor the life and legacy of their teammate Demaryius Thomas. Former Broncos receiver Emmanuel Sanders was one of DT's best friends and presented the Broncos Boys and Girls Club's football team with new jerseys with the patch on them you see in the corner, the number 88, which was DT's number.
Demaryius had the biggest heart. Like, he would literally, and we all know him. Like, he would take his shirt off and give it to you anytime. He had the biggest heart. And so, like I said, to be able to do this and leave this type of legacy for him and walking in his room and seeing all these pictures of us hanging out and eating, breakfast with my son and thunder and lightning. It's kind of sad for me because I know, that I still want him to be here today.
Yeah, DT was loved on and off the field. Emmanuel Sanders still does a lot with the community. Broncos players also held a little clinic outside for the kids there. Well, we're hoping the Avs can keep up their momentum tonight. It is Game 2 against the Nashville Predators in their best-of-7 series. Game 1, of course, was a blowout in the Avs' favor. They won 7-2. The Avs last won the Stanley Cup in 2001.
A heads up, if you filed your taxes with TurboTax, you could be eligible for some money. What groups investigators say the company deceived.
And it is graduation day at CU Boulder. We're going to hear from one man who has waited decades to officially celebrate his graduation.